Hello there, this is my presentation on the recall of Kroger Deli pasta salads. My name is Jake Williams and I'm joined by my lovely mother and father, Denise and Phil Williams. So this recall is fairly recent. It has to do with Kroger pasta salads with Listeria monocytogenes in them. The pasta was provided by Nate's Fine Foods, which will come up multiple times throughout this presentation. 1,860 stores had issues in 28 separate states. The main products that were recalled were the basil pesto bow tie salad and smoked mozzarella penne salad, sold from August 29th through October 2nd. So Listeria is a biological hazard. It's prokaryotic, a bacillus form, this long tube shape, and it is a gram-positive cell. It dies at 165 degrees Fahrenheit, which means it should die in boiling water, but we'll get back to that. Likely causes, Listeria is psychotropic, which means it optimally grows at refrigeration temperature, and in this case, it likely could have come through the semolina, durum flour, water, or surface contact in the production facility. Semolina is a derivative of durum flour, if you're curious. So for how they handled the recall, Nate's notified the stores of contamination on September 26th and October 1st, and they have since then expanded their recall to more products. They also are related to other current recalls at Sprouts, Albertsons, and various other companies. Their recall process has to do with telling customers to throw away their products or return the products so that the companies can dispose of them. And many companies are offering refunds and for the consumers to be able to swap it out for newer products that are not within the contamination period. This is an ongoing process, so there isn't too much information as of yet. So some important notes is that Listeria is more dangerous for YOPI, which are young, old, pregnant, and immune-compromised people. It has a mortality rate of 20 to 30%, which is pretty high in my opinion. To cross-reference this case with another case of Listeria outbreak, in 2024, Boar's Head, the meat company, had an issue with Listeria in their Virginia plant. So they were cited for inadequate sanitization. So they had sitting meat residues, blocked drains, and several customers were not washing their hands or wearing hairnets. Because of this, there were 61 sicknesses and 10 deaths. Looking at this example, Nate's Fine Foods probably needs to look at their HACCP principles by reevaluating their control points to see if they're catching everything and if they're timed properly, and the verification of their safety controls, which is seeing if the employees are actually following their policies. So for this current case, there were 27 infections, 25 hospitalizations, and 6 deaths that have been reported. For Listeria, the symptoms can include invasive listeriosis, which has a 3-week incubation period, which means that you only notice it after 2 to 70 days. And this can result in inflammation of the brain, heart, and intestine, which can be fatal. The non-invasive gastroenteritis can have an onset period of 24 to 48 hours, and this really just causes diarrhea, nausea, vomiting, abdominal pain, cramping, and fever. So the economic impact are that Nate's Fine Foods, whose revenue is only about 10 million, have lost probably $1 million in revenue due to this recall, since they had to recall about £250,000 of pasta, and if you look at the price of pre-cooked pasta, you can usually buy it for about $3 per pound, so that's pretty significant given their revenue. For the stores, each pasta salad sells between $10 to $15. The receipts are listed on the FDA website, so that's big. And then for medical, it's pretty expensive for the hospital visit, so that's about $70,000 total for the insurance companies having to take up the cost, and also for people that have died, the U.S. government values them at about $10 million per person. So my dad noted that the incubation period is alarming. How are you supposed to remember what you even ate and therefore conclude what you have? And then there are many points in the production facility that the disease could have happened or transmitted. I'd like to think it's probably after the cooking phase because they exclusively provide pre-cooked pasta that's kept at refrigeration temperature, which is noted here that, yeah, you pretty much have to cook your food to get rid of the listeria. For my mom, she learned about Listeria for the first time and was terrified by it. She was surprised by the deadliness of it and was interested in knowing the symptoms so that she could catch it early, especially given that the onset period is so late. She also noted the additional risk mitigation for pre-cooked slash non-cooked foods. That's very important because, again, Listeria survives in cold temperatures very well, which means that if you cook your foods, you're good, but if you contaminate cold foods, you're not good. Here are my sources. Thank you and have a nice day.